Let's see.
Oh, there we
Now
go.
you,
No, I
there
can
you
hear
go.
you.
Now, lovely man.
Oh,
Perfect.
awesome. Well,
There's
thank you.
always there's there's always this kind of situation where just the audio is not gonna work right at the very moment that you need it. But yeah, now we got it. Now we got it, man. How's it
Not a
going?
problem. Well, thank you again for taking the time to be able to do this. It's great to be able to catch up again after a few years, and it's great to be able to talk about some brand new material that you got just on the horizon coming up.
Right, man. It feels like forever. When was the last time that we saw each other? I think that it was 2020, 2023 maybe.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
It
yeah,
does feel like a lifetime ago.
right, man. Like that's absolutely crazy. But yeah, to be honest, like coming back, with some new material and to be able to catch up, with some of the people that you have somehow like co-work back in the days or like that you have gotten to do this, it feels very cool, It's just like kind of for me personally, it just kind of feels like if we will be catching up with friends, I like this very raw kind of conversation. So I'm thrilled, man. Very nice.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, I love supporting good people and I love supporting good music, and you are both of that. I mean, you always attach yourself to great music, whether you're creating it on your own, whether you're working with other people. And, just, being able to talk to you last time, it was just like one of the best conversations I had back in 2023. So it's gonna be great to be able to catch up like this again and just see what you've been doing in that time.
Thank you so much, man. Like that really means quite a lot to me because especially like right now something that I'm very focused. Like the more that my career advances, the more important for me that it becomes to actually kind of like keep it like as organic, and natural and friendly as possible. I'm trying to escape the most that I can for becoming like a standard, of the industry, so to say. So I wanted to reach out, like to have just like a normal, proper conversation with people that I've liked, to talk before, and that we are catching up and that we share this new thing that it's coming. So it means quite a lot to me, honestly, that the fact that you have as well like remembered this. It's really sweet.
Oh, absolutely, and likewise. And it meant so much when I found out that you wanted to talk to me again to be able to promote some new material because it's
Right.
just like I had no idea this was coming until I found out that uh I just got the information and everything about that. So when I finally got the album, when I was able to look at the pictures, I was able to read the lyrics, everything that was going along with it, it just made me so excited because I love hearing your voice. I love hearing your style on
Thank you,
stuff.
man.
And just the fact that we got like almost an hour's worth of music that's going to be coming out next month. It's just so cool to see.
That's true, man. And the whole story about the record is fairly crazy. I mean, it's a record that it's been 10 years basically on the making, like you're a totally different person 10 years ago. There are like so many things that changes, so many challenges, so many things that you learn, and stuff. So it's a very important record in my life, and it is something that I just literally decided to release and to put out of there because of the fact that I had a lot to say, on this record, and every single little detail that it's in there, and everything is crafted with a very close friends of mine. The guy who does the arrangements for this record is one of my best friends, somebody that I met when I was literally a freaking kid, So it's like this very personal, almost diary, that I wanted to put out of there. And once again, like for me, I am doubling down the most that I can with communication with people because I think that it's something that it has gotten lost quite a lot, because we are constantly kind of like trying to get something from somebody, and this kind of stuff. So I feel that there are times when it's very hard to even like talk with people anymore, with humans anymore, you know. So I remember I was talking with my brother, and I was talking with Karina, which is one of my close friends as well, that she is helping me and working in all of this. And we were just kind of like going a little bit back in time, and we were like, yeah, of course, like we should reach out. We should reach out and say like, hey, maybe you are interested about having another conversation about some new music and catch up, you know. So it's really amazing for me to be able to have like this moment, you know, where we can actually share this. Super happy that you got to listen to the record, check the artwork. It's something that I work with my brother. We work on this artwork for the record, and it's like one of the first collaborations that we do in this kind of way, because from one way or another, musically, we have always been all over the place in different genres and stuff like that. But with the artwork, I think that we really got to do something very special. There's like a very special and mystic world in this. So I'm very happy, man, that you got to listen to it, and I cannot wait to see like what you think about it.
Well, yeah, I was just about to say, I love it from start to finish. I mean, everything from like how it segues in the beginning, the middle, the end, the dynamics throughout this entire album, whether it gets like on the heavier side of things and you're starting to show off more of your aggressive voice, whether you're like showing off those like sweet, sweet cleans that you're so capable of, and everything in between, like just vocally what you're doing is just incredible on this one. And then the musical arrangements that go along with it as well. Like I can hear so many different kinds of influences, some stuff that I'm very familiar with, some stuff that sounds at least new to me that you're doing on here. It's just like it feels so well-rounded and diverse, but it also all fits together at the same time, which is what makes it such a great album experience from start to finish. It feels like a complete package.
Excellent, dude. That is really good. One of the things that I feel that they have been like very characteristic about the sort of music that I do in my musical career is that from the very beginning, I have had like so many different influences and so many different genres, really, that I like. So many different singers, you know, and music directions. And it's a little bit like if it would be super hard for me to compromise on just like jumping into one of those boxes, so to say. So my vocals are naturally more like it's they're lower, but I have like these, you know, like fire burning insides about like trying to do like harder vocals and like higher ones in different kinds of techniques. You know, I like, for example, Muse doing some very, very sweet and melodic falsettos, you know, and I like Avenged Sevenfold as well, and I like Slipknot, and I like a bunch of very different things. So during my whole career, I have been just really just sort of like growing quite a lot into all of these things, and then trying to somehow like put them together. And of course, like when we are doing music, I feel that we are from one way or another like trying to follow a lot of the steps of those figures that we love. No, that is the first attempt to doing all of this, and then it's just like about finding yourself and breaking as many rules as you can. And for me, like there was this point where I just realized that all of this variety and dynamic, as you said, like that is when it's gonna get interesting, because I am doing like very different things in one single song or in one record. But it's of course like very important that it sounds coherent, no? That they blend together properly, that it doesn't feel like out of place and stuff like that. So it's a huge victory. And I also want to tell you something, like you are the first person outside of my team that is actually that I get to listen to. What do you think about the record? Like literally, like right now. So
Oh,
for me,
wow.
it's yes. You're the very first person. You're the first critique that I listened to about this record. You know, like other than that, it's just like obviously my brother who was part of the record in my team. But outside of that, you're actually the first objective perspective of what's going on here, and I love to hear exactly those elements that you just mentioned. Perfect.
Oh, that means so much to me that I'm one of the first people who got to hear the album outside of your team and the
Yes.
first person that you got to hear any feedback from. I mean, obviously I know some singles have been released and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but the fact that I got to hear the album as many times as I have and I can go so deep with it. I mean, that just means so much to me again that you would trust me with something like that. I mean, that means so much to me and just being able to get my opinion off of that and I do mean it when I say it. It's like I do love the diversity that's going on here, but I also love how it's so cohesive together. And it just, I appreciate the fact that you wanted to make a full album, not just a collection of songs. And I think
Right.
that's really important to me in 2025 when it's so easy to just release these one-off songs and, just try to capitalize on that. You're focusing on making an album, and I
Right.
love seeing that.
Right, man. Yeah, that's very true, no? Like I think that everything right now in the industry and the trends are pointing us to just like do a couple of singles, and then trying to put them all together so that, as you say, like you can capitalize on that. But for me, this whole record, it is something that it has a whole story. It means it's the very beginning of my career, indeed, because even before I joined Lacrimas, I was already working on this. And the very first album that I released, which was the Epitaph one, it was the very beginning of my career, officially, so to say. And for me, there was this whole world, and in every song that is in that record, like needed to have like a very important piece in the story of that, and that I love that you're able to put the album, and that you're able to have a full experience, right? It's like if you will watch a film, a film, if you go to the cinema and you would be watching, like maybe like five or six different films just cut into one single piece, when you're there like watching that, you're kind of like you would be kind of like, what's going on? Like, why don't I get the full story? And I really like to double down on these things, this experience. There's, for example, something along this epitaph world that we have, that there's a character that is called Avis, that it's kind of like telling a story, and you can have access of some parts of those story, for example, through something like answering certain riddles, through the website and on Patreon and that, like, and because my brother is a philosopher, so he is making all of this, making this whole story, and that it goes along with the record and with the signs, all the different signs that we have created until now. We have 7 signs out, and each one of them, let's say that they have like a philosophical sort of like meaning, something about humanity and the evolution of the mind and this kind of things. So for us, it was very important as well that the whole record, every single connection that it's in there, and that you can feel like a different flavor in between songs. It's, for example, you listen to Insanity, that's a slow tempo kind of like song, deeper vocals and stuff like that. And then you have Summer Rain, which is also slow tempo and is like low vocals, but they feel so different just by the arrangement and stuff. Like Insanity, it's way more electronic somehow, and it puts you into a very different vibe, while Summer Rain is completely Nordic, it's almost kind of like a Sigur Rós kind of inspired and this kind of thing. So uh, very, very happy that you're able to just listen to the record and have like the whole overall like experience of it. So that's fabulous, man, to hear.
Yeah, and again, that's what I appreciate so much. Again, like I've mentioned it before, but I think it just bears the repeating is the diversity of all of it. Like you were mentioning, it's just like sometimes it does get a little more electronic, a little more poppy, a little more heavy, a little more
Mhm.
soundscape-ish, and then
Yeah,
obviously the instrumental sections that happen throughout the album as well, which I find to be just fantastic segues that like really fit the mold of everything. I know some people are gonna skip that on the album because
uh-huh.
they're not in the instrumental stuff, but to me,
Yeah,
I love the complete package and I love being able to get that. And the more that I listen
right.
to it, the more that I read the lyrics, the more that I'm able to just get a little bit deeper into it, the more I'm able to appreciate it. And the fact that you and your brother had put so much time and effort into not just the songs, not just the arrangements, but just like the overall package of it. Like you're just like going all over online to like show these different aspects of the album, the story, what everything can be when it comes to all of this. It just shows how
Right.
much pride that you have in your music, and it's so great to see that.
Right, man. For me, from the very beginning, it has been like so, just like so important to, because there's like these questions that sometimes people does online about like how are you able to handle like criticism, no? Like, for example, if you're doing YouTube or if you're doing podcasts, interviews or stuff, like how do we as a persons like deal with criticism and stuff? And I think that one of the very like one of the most important keys for me, have been playing a very big role into all of this is that I do the very best for my craft. I do something that makes me excited. I do something that means something for me. I push myself to the limits. I challenge myself, and I reach that point when I'm listening to my music and I am enjoying it and I'm feeling excited about it and it brings me something. Brings me, for example, I'm writing a song and I'm thinking, okay, like what is the second verse gonna that little detail that I'm waiting to listen to. For example, in Requiem, there's a guitar that jumps in the second verse that it's moving like from right to left, and it's adding like harmonically like some more tension in this sort of like dark space. And when I listen to it, I'm waiting for that guitar, and then I'm waiting for the change between the second chorus and the first one and stuff. So it's like kind of like I'm putting cookies for myself, in each step, and then how dynamic it can be in the midsection. For example, one of the things that probably you still don't know, it's if you listen to the first Epitaph, and the second Epitaph. In the second Epitaph, we did a lot of references to the first one. So in Requiem, for example, the lyrics of the C part are actually the lyrics from a song called Rain in the first one, so it's this almost like kinesthetic kind of feeling, with some sort of like nostalgia, and there's like me singing the same lyrics with a little bit of a different melody in another song, singing something that I wrote like 10 years ago, so there's like this mixture in between that. So for me, as you said it pretty well. It was like I am very, very proud. We are very proud, like me and my brother, everybody in the team, like we're very proud about what we do. So for us, the criticism really it doesn't really affect us because we still, if there is somebody coming to you and it's saying like, okay, like this is the worst fucking thing that I ever heard in my entire life, you're still gonna be able to stand by it because it's like, okay, like you might think that, but I just generally enjoy it so much. And I know for a fact that there's like some other people out of there that they are just as excited about it as I am, so that might be your perspective. But in the other hand, like I just put absolutely everything from myself. And now we're an independent project, so we don't compromise. We don't compromise on like, okay, is this gonna sell or not? Is all everybody in my audience gonna like it or not? Or am I supposed to this or not? Or so it's just like free hands with this what we're doing. And I think that is one of the stuff that you can clearly like hear on the record and see in the overall project.
Yeah, again, I love the fact that it is so much DIY, doing it yourself. And
Mhm.
when it comes to all of that, and like labels can be a great thing, but they can also take away some of the creativity depending on how things go. And the fact that this album doesn't have any necessary cover songs that you didn't want to cover that the label wanted you to, that you didn't have to
Right.
do a Christmas version of In the Dark, where you have to add some sleigh or
Oh
something
my
to that.
God.
And it's just you
That
just got to make what you wanted to make, and the fact that
right.
you're able to call back to the original Epitaph as well too. So if
Yeah.
anyone's discovering this for the first time with Epitaph 2, they're able to go back and they're able to hear those callbacks. I think they're going to be
Right.
really rewarded.
Right, man. That is yes. For example, there's another song In the Dark that you just mentioned. I love that. I love that the Christmas version of it. The Christmas version of In the Dark. I love that. In the Dark, for example, in the after the like right at the end of the C part when it gets very crazy with all of these like screams and almost like black metal kind of thing going on in there. At the very end of that, there is these very high like vocals that they sound like female, but it's actually me, the one who did those. But the lyrics and the melody are from a song from the last song of Epitaph 1, which is called Alba. So, those kind of like cookies for the people that gets to listen to the Epitaph 2 and they are listening to all of this crazy thing going on, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, look at where we are. Like we're back to the roots, somehow. After 10 years, we are revisiting that space, like that atmosphere. And yes, that's one of the things that I deeply, deeply, deeply love. Is just we do not compromise at any point with nothing. Unfortunately, I have gotten to see as well how, yeah, with the labels is like two different sorts of like apparatus. Like and I get it, it's a business and they need to figure a way to make all of that work with all of the waves that the industry has, and they need to figure these kind of things out. But unfortunately that really can have like an impact into the creative vision, or how standard you need to be with your music and stuff, like for being able to hit like those certain marks, etc. But thanks to the way that we have been building all of these, and thanks to all the people, around that they have been like so supportive, attached, and invested into all of these projects, etc., that we have gained that freedom. It's like we won our independence, in creatively, and I think that is once again like it can be like very refreshing, because we do not compromise into any of that. I was just shitting on the Christmas versions of of some of those things. So yeah, that you said it pretty well.
Well, if you ever decide to do like a parody version of like in parentheses Christmas in the Dark, and you just start adding some sleigh bells and stuff like that, so I'll
Hey,
I'll know where that came from. But but
yes,
but
yes, yes, yes.
but
I
no,
will.
again, I just love the fact that it's just there's so much passion that's going on here, and it's like especially with how long it did take to be able to put
Right.
this album together with everything that's going with it. I mean, when you were able to listen to it for the first time, like with it all completed and everything, how did you first feel about that?
Man, that was one of the craziest, like really, experiences of my entire life, really, because as I told you, it's been 10 years, and in 10 years there's so much that happens. I moved from to different countries, I joined Lacrimas, which as well was very crazy. You go through everything. You go through relationships, you go through friendships, you go through um at times like I distance myself from my family so much because like following my dreams, it just kind of like took me into a direction, the one that I needed to sail away, so to say. And for the longest time, I've been spending a lot of time by my own. And like sometimes at the very beginning is struggling with money, back in the days and stuff like that. So I literally feel that a whole life has been happening in these past years. That is one of the reasons why it took so long, because I have written like some of the songs after right after Epitaph 1. But what happened in there as well, it was that I started kind of like sort of realizing that I was just literally doing a straight follow-up of Epitaph 1 without any kind of like evolution. So I felt that for myself, I didn't want to put a second record that would sound exactly like the same, like the first record. It just didn't make sense. So I needed that's what I needed to find, because for example, like one of the things that I thought right away, straight away after Epitaph One, it was like, okay, like I'm very comfortable making ballads. I'm like slower tempo songs, very melodic things, and blah blah blah. But I should become better on making like faster things, and like at this and that. So I wanted to put myself to go through an evolution, like a real evolution that for me would feel that I had something else to offer. So vocally, I went through so many different techniques of screaming, and like I tried so many things, like even like the production and everything. It's just like my whole life has changed in these 10 years. So in the very moment when I get to listen to the final mixes of this, which by the way we mixed it in the same place where we work with Lacrimas, just a different producer. Kai Stallenberg was the one who was mixing us, and Christian Cole was mixing Lacrimas. Um, it was just really like a regression. There is this thing that we have in Epitaph too, that it's precession, ascension, and regression. And I feel that I was going through those sort of like states, because from one way or another, it was the beginning of a brand new chapter of my life. From another point was as well like the death of all of that, you know? And it was just like finishing completely a chapter of my life, finishing that decade of my life, and being able to start like something new, So it was really it was an incredible experience to listen to that, and as well to have like the physical copies as well. Like that was well pretty crazy, man. A lot has gone through that.
Oh, I can imagine. And I can imagine that it would also like take a toll on you mentally as well, like everything that you've had to go through from relocation to joining bands to, trying to figure out what you're doing financially to wanting to make sure that Epitaph 2 can be everything that you want it to be. Like, how do
Right.
you manage all of that mentally and still come out the other side?
That is that's a great question, man, because I feel that that's something that I have not even kind of like thought myself like too much about, because it's been pretty rough. I mean, as I told you, I moved completely, like I moved I moved to Finland like almost like 9 years ago or so, and I feel that I was, as I told you, like a totally different person. I literally, I was as broke as you can be, and through all of that, I still needed to figure out a way where I could have a musical evolution, the one that I wanted, because I have always wanted to challenge myself quite a lot. But at the same time, you need to figure out the very normal things in life, like the daily things in life. So going through all of that, I think that it was quite a lot of resilience, a lot of motivation. I have a huge respect for the people who has been supporting me along the way, I have a huge respect for my mother, because my mother, I grew up in Mexico with a single mom, and she was doing absolutely everything that she could, like taking like as many jobs as she could, and pushing all the boundaries, for giving me a shot. She never told me, no, you cannot do it. She never, let's say, like cut off my wings in that sense. So I have such a huge respect for all of this, and my brother as well being close to me, and somehow like leading me through the very first step of my life and stuff. So, you know. I feel that when you have that sort of motivation, when you have like that sort of gratitude and you want to deliver, you know, something not only for yourself, but for the people who has been there paying attention to you, giving you the best that they can, you know, and because literally like with my mom, like the very first travel, for example, that I did to Europe, because the economy is like a totally different thing. So the very first trip that I did to Europe, we actually needed to get like a loan for being able to do this, you know. And while all of the people around, and most of the people around was telling me, it's like, I don't know why you're doing this. I don't know why you're trying to go right now over there, you know, like for a couple of months and stuff. Like you're just spending a fuckload of money, etc. You should be like studying and stuff like that, you know. But my mother was the one who was, and also like my brother's, well, it's my cousin, but one of my uncles also says like, hey, it's gonna that experience is gonna change your life. You're gonna open your world to something that you have never been exposed. And whatever that happens in there, you know, just walking on the street is gonna reach your life. It's gonna give you something different. And it was just that way. The very first journey that I did completely changed my life and give me a lot of motivation. So, you know, when you have all of this background, when you're face down, when you're eating dirt, you know, on the ground, when you're depressed, when you are just like so confused and stuff, like you have those you have that fire somewhere there, you know, and you don't want to let those people down. You don't want yourself to let down yourself, and you don't want to let those people down, you know. And then when I start feeling that there are some other people out of there, that they are that they are feeling interest about what I'm doing, and they're listening to the music, and when they start like supporting me, you know, like through Patreon and Twitch and all of these kind of things, it's like the world starts listening, and I starts to believe in somebody who has a crazy idea and is very independent and rebel in that way. So all of that just keeps you loaded and loaded with motivation, which has been like really so important for me. And that's the reason that I want to as well be able to give that back to the people. You know, I want to be able to give them the value of motivation, because I think that is some of the most important things that we can actually like have in life. So I do it for myself, but I do it for my family, and I do it for the people who is supporting me. But it's been very tough. Like at times I've been into very big depressions, you know, completely drained, burned out. You know, it's been really tough. And I've been with tons of anxiety for the longest time. It's been very rough. The story is very long, but it's been very rough, man. So, but motivation, I think that is one of the things that rescue.
Well, I can say that's motivating me and inspiring me as well. You know, it's just like I think right now we all kind of need some motivation and inspiration in the world right now. I mean, all you have to do is just look at what's going on in the globe right now, and you know, it's just like there's so much negativity in the world right now, and you can let it get you down if you let it. But the fact that you have been able to overcome so much of this, you've been able to go after the goals and the achievements, and you know, join Lacrimas, being able to focus on
Yeah.
Epitaph too. And you know, despite it taking a decade, it is coming out next month, and you're going to see the fruits of those labors come out, and just seeing all these people who have been wanting to hear this for so long finally being able to listen to the full album and having those same experiences that I'm having of just like enjoying it. And the more that I listen to it, the more that I love what's going on, and just being able to continue with your musical endeavors and everything that you're doing through Patreon, and you know, just this way of being able to continue on with your life, because you did not do the easy thing. You went through one of the hard things of like trying to follow your dreams and uh, make all of these things happen, and you're coming out the other side of it. And you know, between the last Lacrimas album, between this coming out next month, and everything else that's going to be happening in the future, you're showing that you can do it, and that is such an incredible thing to see.
I think that is it's very well said. Especially now more than ever, I feel that we really need to grow the seed of motivation in general for the people out there. Because there's like I was talking with my brother the other day about it, how through social media, we get so much information and we are so isolated in our own algorithms, we can make these bubbles where we live and see certain things, and stuff like that. And we see apparently, like some other people out there having like this so to say like perfect lives or things like that, and makes us wonder even more like why is it not working with us? Why do we feel the way that we feel, or stuff like that? And many things around your environment are constantly telling you that you should just not do it. And it is so hard to really overcome all of these things. And you need so much discipline and resilience, and you need so many things, honestly, to be able to do this. Uh, so of course, it's a delicate position. But I feel that, for example, in my case, like back in the days, I used to, or I still do it. I watch interviews just like the one that we're doing right now with some other artists and stuff. And that has been like a massive source of motivation for me, like to be able to listen to some other people who have gone already a little farther or considerably farther in the journey. Like a bunch of those things like sometimes might trigger something in you, that it might be like that little trigger for you to take the next step into what you and into what you want and stuff. So for me, I feel that I already I'm part of a different generation, and I think that I want to, I don't know if it's necessarily like my responsibility or whatever, but I do want to do it. I want that there are some other creators out of there. For example, if you have your YouTube channel, and stuff like that, that you feel motivated to say like, hey, I need to have a deep breath. Maybe I just need to be more organized. Maybe I just need to think a little bit in a different strategy. I need to keep on going. One of the most important things that I've learned through my journey is that if you keep on going, and if you keep on like challenging yourself and trying to be as honest with yourself as you can, eventually there's gonna be a point you're gonna break over that resistance, and you're gonna get to a different level. There's something that clicks, and that is gonna take you to another level. And that's the way that this project has been working. It's incredible right now what I'm getting to do with my brother, and just like a couple of friends. The that there are so many artists out of there that they are working with labels and stuff like that. And then little did you know, like they have other jobs and stuff, like they cannot do that full time and stuff. Like I'm lucky enough that me and my brother, we are working full time into all of these things. We have our business, we're growing all of this. So yeah, it's very, very important for me that there's like a good message out of there, because I see a lot of people very anxious, very worried, very fearful, and constantly like criticize and stuff. And people nowadays, they are so afraid to say certain things, bans out of there. The other day I was doing a live stream about it, like bands out of there, they are afraid of facing a lot of the people in the industry, because of this kind of like handshakes in the background, and it's like, okay, if I have this problem with this one person, like he's gonna talk shit about me about with all of these other ones and blah blah blah. Recording in progress. There it is. So,
I
uh,
am so sorry about that. Zoom
no, don't need to
makes you
be.
wait 10 minutes in between stuff now. I know that kind of ruins the flow of everything, but I'll make sure it
No, man,
sounds
no,
good
no, 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 no,
altogether.
no, no. I listen. That is one of the things that I really love about doing the things the way that we are doing it. Like all of these kind of things. If you would know like how many things happen in like us building up our own business, and people being as well so understanding with us and blah blah blah. Like for me, it's absolutely fine. As I told you, it's just like for me, it's important a conversation between friends. There's absolutely no problem. And actually, I want to tell you. That's right now as well. Like I'm streaming on my Patreon, and the people loves you, man. The
Really?
people, yeah, the people says that you're like so sweet and that you do like very good questions. I was talking actually with them when we were waiting to come back here, so they really like you, and they're very excited as well. They were actually like posting already here like your the name of your channel and stuff like that. So they're surely going to get you there.
Well,
Yes, man.
that means absolutely so much. So everyone that's checking this out right now, thank you so much. And if you check out anything else that I do, I hope you enjoyed as much as this talk that we're having right now.
Yes, absolutely, man. But yes, motivation, very, very, very important, honestly, topic, and I want to emphasize even more on that in the next with content, in the next couple of years because it's very important. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. So thinking about that as well too. I mean, obviously, with this going on right now, and of course, Lacrimas as well. Like, is there anything that's going on in that camp right now?
Absolutely, man. We are actually, I think there's been like that, like 2 years from the last record that we did, and actually we are getting into studio with Lacrimas next month. So it's so crazy because I'm releasing this new record next month, and also I've been recording some demos for Lacrimas during this last week, and we are going to I'm gonna go to the studio at the half of May, and for what I understand, the aim is also to be releasing the record during this year. So that's the reason that I told as well, like to all of the people following me, that this year was gonna have like a bunch of music. So absolutely, we're working as well on some new Lacrimas stuff.
Oh, awesome. Well, it sounds like this won't be the last time this year we get to talk. I mean, we gotta be able to
Yes.
do some promotion for that one when that gets ready to drop.
Absolutely, man. And I think that is going to be very interesting as well because the more that Lacrimas advances, the more comfortable that they feel, like being more free musically. And I feel that right now as well, Oliver, it's just really opening up to so many other things that he likes, and stuff. So gonna be so interesting, and as well, I cannot wait to hear your thoughts. In between like Epitaph 2 and the new record of Lacrimas, and how because they're pretty different. So it's gonna be very interesting, man.
So
Very, very interesting.
So thinking about that, I mean, obviously, again, it's like you already have like such a great diverse palette of musical tastes and what you want to be able to create and everything. But when you're going between like the two different camps, it's like when you're working on this, when you're working on Lacrimus, like, do you have to put yourself into a different kind of mindset to be able to start working on one over the other when both kind of intersect, or how do you go about that?
Right, that's as well another very interesting one. Since I joined Lacrimas, one of the things that have been part of my mission with Oliver personally is that I want to help him achieve quite a lot, many of the like his musical vision, so to say, as he was a part of the beginning of my career somehow, because he was as well like an influence in the very early stages of my career. I've been looking for helping him as much as I can. So I definitely do put myself into different mindsets for all of this. In LDMV, I am just so free and I need to say that with LDMV, I am way more, uh, let's say like perfectionist in a way, because for me, every everything that has to do with LDMB is like a perfect puzzle somehow, a perfect puzzle, but as well with these sort of like weird scratches, where it's like falling and being cohesive, but without being just too perfect neither, because I am a fan of breaking the rules and this kind of thing. So, but I am, but things for me need to be like more cohesive. The way that for example, in Lacrimas, what we tend to do is that maybe I might write the verse for a song, the melody of the verse for a song, and his brother writes the chorus, or the other way around, or Oliver writes the melody of this and that. There's way more falling into that. And for me, Um, Sometimes if the chorus seems to be something and the verse seems to be something else, and then somehow they fall into the same song and they sound good, but somehow sometimes I do have the feeling that they are not completely like cohesive somehow. While in LDMB, I think that I just try to make everything in a way where it's just like so that it's meant to be somehow, you know? And in Lacrimas, I have like this sort of like different rule where I'm like, I need to get more into the mindset of, okay, let's do everybody put the best of ourselves into this thing, you know, and let's just make it sound great. I am not gonna hold on too much to my hysteria of building this sort of like perfect puzzle somehow, you know. And yeah, I definitely need to be in a different mindset. But I think that I've gotten like way better into switching between those moods somehow. And Oliver as well, the more that we are advancing, the more that he's actually becoming more of a fan of my musical work somehow as well. Because right now, for example, as well, with all of the new things that he wants to make, he very often, for this record especially, he's telling me, it's like, man, like, give me your ideas. What do you think about this? Like, what would you do here? And we're breaking quite a lot to all of that. And as he sees how people, is getting quite a lot into unseen and invisible beginning and obscurity, and which are songs where I have gotten somehow like more influence and stuff. Um, he starts feeling more secure. He starts feeling more like, okay, it might be good to hit this sort of like direction or things like that. So we both are, it's chemistry. We both are becoming like better at doing this collaboration somehow. So yeah, it's definitely different. But
I'm
yeah.
so glad to hear that, and I'm so looking forward to all the Funeral Doom grind pop that's going to be on the next album with
Yes,
all the
man. Yeah, yeah,
directions
yeah,
that
yeah,
you're
yeah.
going to be
You
going
you you
into.
you describe it so well. You described once again so well. It's gonna be very, one of the things that I feel that nobody knows about Lacrimas is that the productions are itself like so chaotic that by the time where we hit the studio, everybody's confused. Nobody knows exactly what's gonna happen. There has been like these times that I'm literally inside of the vocal booth and I'm still just kind of like saying like, okay, let's see how it sounds. Let's see what this like. It's a lot of right at the moment, sort of like approach and stuff, but it does work. And that as well has taught me like a different part of myself where I am not, with LDMB is completely different. With LDMB, I have a super straight vision on the things. And if you listen to the demo, it sounds basically like almost like the final thing. With Lacrimas, it's completely more like, it's way more chaotic. And at the very last, it's just like if you roll the dice and then at last you see like, okay, Unseen came out, or things like that. So I have learned to as well detach a little bit from this sort of like, it's like, oh, but we should figure this thing out before like jumping into this, and stuff. But yeah, you're gonna get like a lot of very crazy things on this record as well. What I'm trying to do as well with the new Lacrimas is that I want to hit them a little bit more with dynamics. Epitaph 2 is very dynamic. My music tends to be very dynamic, and that's something as well that I would like to offer a little bit more into them. But in general, it's gonna be as well like a very metal record. It's gonna double down as well into some hard tunes, because there's like a massive repertory of like gothic things and melodic things, and so on. But well, like they want to put like some harder guns so that we are able to make different sorts of like set list that works into a very metal environment and also into like a gothic one and blah blah. So yes, you described pretty well. It's gonna be like funeralish, popish, black metalish, like everything. It's just everything in between. Yeah.
I thought I was just making a joke, but now I'm looking forward to it more and more.
No, yeah, yeah, it's gonna happen, man. That's
Ah,
just how
so
it is.
Oh, totally. So, getting back into this, I mean, obviously, again, next month it's going to be coming out and everyone's going to be able to get the chance to hear it. Is
Right.
there any chance that any of this will be done in a live setting?
Donna Liveson, yeah, actually, we're gonna be playing a very, very special show that it's called The Sanctuary, like the song. It's a show that we play once a year. I play with my brother. It's an acoustic show that very like intimate, very small acoustic show that we do. Like it's almost like a private party. And we are releasing the record on the 31st of May, which is the day where this show is happening. So there's people the show is in Hamburg in Germany, and there's people from the US coming. There's quite some people from the US are gonna be there, from Italy, from obviously like Germany, Austria, from Australia, from Spain, from literally everywhere. You know, the very first time that we did the first edition of this show, the guy who's the owner, he was like, "What the fuck is going on with this? Like, what is this? Like, people from all the fucking around the world like coming to these like small venue, you know, like to." It's because of that. It's very special. One of my best friends as well is gonna be there, and it's a very again like it's a very private, like a very intimate show that we did. It's sold out. It got sold out very fast, and we are releasing the record exactly on that day. So I'm gonna literally get to see the reaction of the people in a li- in a live moment. You know, I'm gonna get to them to tell me what they think about the record, what's their favorite song and stuff. And we're gonna be playing some of the new songs. We're going to be playing, for example, In the Dark, The Sanctuary as well, you know, in between some others. And later, I am not 100% sure when, but we have in mind to start building the electric setup of this, and play a very first special show, you know, with all of these things. I'm still not sure when is it gonna be, because we are like so busy with so many things as we are independent. But definitely, 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 we are aiming to that, man.
So, thinking about that, I mean, obviously, again, you're working towards the idea of having it be an electric set, but when you're doing like a special set, which is going to be coming out on release day, like, what's it like for you to be able to like rework these songs and like try to get them into a live setting like this before going into an electric set eventually?
Right. I remember back in the days, I was listening to the Rasmus quite a lot, and I remember that when they released the album Black Roses, they did an acoustic tour, so to say, where the first view of the songs that I had, it was those acoustic versions. And I felt that it was so special somehow, because I got to listen to the songs acoustic and I had like this certain vision. And then somehow like it became even more exciting for me when I was listening to the album version, because I just saw like that change over there. And in this case, doing this show with so many people around, that know the story from Epitaph, and that they're going to get to listen to these songs on the record that day, and also these different versions. One of the things that I have always been incredibly fan of is when you're making your music and you have all of these arrangements. When you have the metal versions of them, a lot of details get lost. A lot of the good work of the arrangements of the scenes, and the other instruments and things like that, they get lost. So I remember that I was here working on Epitaph 2 with Oscar, which is the guy who did the arrangements. And then all of a sudden he will mute the guitars and he will mute the drums. And then you had like this sort of like beautiful landscape, of things going on and stuff. And I was just thinking, I was like, man, like we need to do something with this. We need to give the opportunity to the people to listen to those details, those things that in the record you're not gonna be able to really like fully listen to unless that you've been listening to music like in so surgically like for such a long time and stuff. So what we are doing right now in this week, for example, I've been working on some of those tracks for that show. My brother is gonna be playing the acoustic guitar. My other best friend might be even playing a little bit of like drumming, or it might be playing on other things in the guitar and stuff. And we're gonna have some tracks which are from the record, but as well, it's a lot of those things that they are not quite gonna get to listen to on the record properly. But they are going to get to enjoy them right there at the moment through the PA, when the environment of a show. So it's like a very atmospheric kind of approach to it. You're gonna have like this sort of like landscape with an acoustic sort of like mixture. And my career started with an acoustic guitar, literally, with my best friend in an acoustic guitar. So I love that we're able to bring this thing, like from the kind of like coming back to the roots from the very beginning of my career, which is like with acoustic guitar, and in this setup. But it's been very fascinating to work on these acoustic versions, and that you're able to provide to the people to let them listen to all of these details that they unfortunately get lost because of the massive wall of guitars and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that is just so incredible. Again, that you just put that much time and effort into something this special like that, and making sure like those additional layers that do get lost from just distortion and production and everything that goes into that. Like if you get to go to this show, you get to hear a different version of it you may never get to hear again, just based on how everything else is going around. So, it's just like everyone who gets to go to that, they're in for such a treat.
that is exactly. I'm a fan. I'm a very big fan of living an experience that you are gonna hold as a special for yourself, something that means something to you. So for the people who have been part of the very first Sanctuary, the very first edition of this show that we played, I played actually the keyboard player in that very first edition was the guy who did the arrangements for Epitaph 1 and 2. So the people who was there in the first Sanctuary, they got to see us playing all of that together with him being on the keyboards. In the second Sanctuary was very special because we were able to provide even more of this soundscape through the tracks that we were working on. And it was very special for me to play it with my brother, because he was basically us. We have such a strong bound, and for us all of this means so much. So that one as well was so special. And we were playing as well for the people who was on last year's Sanctuary. We actually debuted, I think, two of the songs of Epitaph 2, which is coming this year. So the people who was there for the very first for the second Sanctuary, they were the first ones listening to some of that material of Epitaph 2. I remember that we started actually the show with Insanity. Um, so we're constantly trying to provide like a new experience, and for the people that it's gonna be here on this time is gonna be the very release of the record. We're going to be playing, for example, a song that is called "The Ghost," which once again in a different uh like setup, acoustic with organ, and stuff. So it's very cool. It's very exciting. And yeah, we have put a lot of effort into this. And Abby's, for example, as well, this character that I told you, it's basically part of it through like some voice that it's basically guiding you through the show from the very beginning and things like that. So we're putting quite a lot into it, and each Sanctuary is just like very unique. I mean, like uh, every Sanctuary is just different, So, but this vibe is over there, so it's very fascinating. Honestly, I'm very happy with this show.
Oh, and I'm so glad that you do this every single year too, and just being able to give those experiences. And again, next year, I think we already buried the lead kind of, you're doing the Christmas versions of stuff. You're going to be doing polka versions of the songs on there, so it's like you're doing complete genre bending next year. So, I mean,
Yes.
just kind of a sneak peek into next year, but
Yes, exactly. It's like a Christmas rap is what I'm gonna be doing next year. So yeah, everybody better gets the idea of it. No, actually, that's actually one of the cool things about the people who is listening to LDMB, that they know that I'm not complacent when it comes to nothing, you know. So they know that I could literally after this start like rapping on a song, or start going super black metal or start going into any freaking direction, So I think that they are just like up for the party, that just to see like, okay, maybe might not be like exactly my like super kind of thing, but I know that there's like some other people in the community that are gonna like this more. Some other people are gonna like this other thing, but that is the thing. That is the variety, and sometimes it feels that you can listen to LDMB and you listen to many different bands in one place, and you can have that on your playlist, and it's like you have different moods. You have something for different moods. So
yeah, and I totally feel that way again, like getting back into the album the way that we started, it's just like the dynamics and the diversity that's throughout all the album. It's just like I know some people are going to have more favorite tracks than other favorite tracks, but
yeah,
it all works together. It's all cohesive enough to where it makes sense, even when you are like bending the genres and what it can be. It all fits together
exactly.
for the greater good, and it just makes for such a fantastic listen from start to finish.
Right, man. It's that diversity. I remember that I show it to my mom, and my mom. That's one of the things that the first things that she mentioned. She was like, it has a lot of dynamic, and it goes up at some point, it's very intense and stuff, and then all of a sudden like gets like more melodic. She was telling me, for example, about the one. No, she was like, that's such a beautiful song, just so melodic, so like it's really gets you in that way. And she told me about Requiem. She was like, this one is so mysterious, it's just like so mysterious. What the hell with this one? And like that, I feel that there's really like something for everybody on the record, and I cannot wait to see like what's people's favorite. It's like all of the LDMB signs and stuff. Like some people feels connected with different signs. Some people likes, for example, the one that I have in my neck that it's called Nemesis. Some people like that one. It's a little bit more rough. Some people like more one that it's called The Light. There's a song called The Light on the record as well. There's this sign that's called The Light. Some people is more into that one. Some people is more into the unknown. Some people is more into this one, the Epitaph. This one is called Epitaph actually. So there's something for everybody, but I think that that's as well like a portrait of humanity, and how we are more than darkness. We are more than just perfection and light. We're the human mind, and the humanity is actually, it's actually very broad, like. So I think that we should embrace more of that contrast and dynamic into it, and I think that's what the record and LDM portrays quite a lot.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's such a great way to put it too. And yeah, I'm so excited for everyone to be able to get the chance to hear this. I'm super excited and jealous of everyone that gets to be able to see the Sanctuary show next month on release day, and then everything else that's going on in your world right now. I mean, there's just so many great, incredible things right now. And
Yeah.
of course, like through all of this, as you've mentioned a couple times, and of course, with the live streaming that's going on right now, you do have a Patreon right now. For
Yes.
anyone that is just checking this out through my channel, after this goes up and everything, like, what do you include on your Patreon?
Patreon for me has been like something that I started, and something that literally has changed my life. One of the things that I am the most proud about is that I am able to have like such a close connection with the people that chooses to believe in what I do. And what I do have over there is that for me is a little bit of a live documentary of my career, because I have had my Patreon, before I joined Lacrimas. So the people that it's on Patreon, they have seen me going through ups and downs, victories, and times when I've been depressed. And they know my brother, when they know more about my story, they get obviously like early entrance for like the tickets of the sanctuary, which is this show, and they get to see, for example, this kind of situations when they are able to somehow like experience live like this kind of things, it's basically my patron is jumping on the boat with me, and getting to see what actually happens, getting to see in LDMV. It's like you're gonna dive as deep in the waters as you want. You can get more and more in there, and you can learn more about the science. On my Patreon, there's a bunch of content. There are literally streams there of when I was recording the album Bleeding the Stars. When I was at the studio, there's a live stream as well when I was recording How to Strap Yourself with Night. There are live streams there from even like Lacrimas shows as well that we get to do. So Patreon is basically that moment when you are like, I believe in what you do. I like what you stand for. I like that you're doing this independently with your brother. I want to hold your hand and I want to walk this path with you. And I am ready to see what it actually happens, dropping the pretension, dropping the trying to look cooler or bigger or whatever than you are. This is a live documentary of what it's like to have a dream, to build a dream, and that's what it has been happening through all of these years. People has gotten to see so many, so many things over here. People saw me on Patreon. I started Patreon when I was absolutely like broke, so they have gotten to see me through having nothing, literally, to fucking like selling out the fan boxes of the record, and selling out the tickets of this, and so on, so that is what's going on in Patreon. It's way more. You have a lovely community, and if you go there with respect, and you go there with an open mind and an open heart, you're going to be able to get a lot of it. If you listen to what some of these guys have told me, I have literally like bunch of messages, of people have been telling me like, like in the moment that I joined this and that I've been listening to what you have to say and stuff, like it has made me think like so much, and it has changed so much. So it's a very big thing. I don't offer there just like, oh, if you sign up for my Patreon, you're gonna buy this video or this extra piece of content. It goes far, far beyond that. So that's experience.
And I just love hearing that story again, again, just like starting from like, again, just like financially broke to where you are now, and
Yeah.
just seeing just that rise of what's happening, people that have been there since day one for your
Yeah.
patron, and then being able to see where everything is going to be going in the future, the fact that the new Lacrimas is coming out later this year,
Right.
this album coming out next month, and just I can just even see, even from like a couple years ago when we talked before, and just like seeing just like the satisfaction of your profile being able to happen within just the last couple years, let alone this whole musical endeavor that you've been doing, and just seeing the
Yeah.
happiness that you're going through. I mean, obviously, again, trials and tribulations and everything that happens, but
Absolutely.
yeah, I just think back to our first talk and here now, and just like seeing just that rewarding sound of your voice, like when you're
Yeah.
talking about this album and the pride that you have with it, everything that you've been able to accomplish, and just seeing that you're progressing with every single endeavor that you're able to do. And you're able to do it because of people like who are
Exactly.
supporting you on Patreon, that are able to go out to shows, that are able to buy albums, that just support you in any way, means, shape, or form. It's incredible to see the fan base that you've been able to do. And it's I'm just so happy that you have been able to garnish that, because you absolutely deserve that with everything that you accomplish.
Thank you, man. It is that way, and more often than not, like some people can get a little bit alienated about like how much contact do I have with the people that it's following me and stuff, or and they get very surprised. But for me, it comes like so natural because it's people that really has a little like changed my life, and they have been like difference between building a dream. I tell them quite a lot as well that they have basically carried like the torch that of my mom, because she gave me the first shot, and for me, my patrons and the people in the LDMV community, they gave me the second shot, so the real, let's say, like label that signed me is the people from the world, who chose to believe in what I do. And right now, for example, I carry like a huge amount of pride in that I was able to co-work right now, for example, with my brother, that he would start jumping into this and working full time into all of this, and stuff. And it's for me very important that the people knows that these things have been literally possible, because of two things. Because the amount of like grind and discipline and everything that I've had, but of course because of them being there, of them being so supportive, and it's a teamwork. That's what we've gotten to do over here, and we have grown so much. And as I told you, like sometimes I feel that you kind of like see some artists out of there that they might look like that they are like bigger, or they have like more overall like numbers in certain ways or so. But then at the end of the day, it's like they cannot really like pay what they need to for certain production, or stuff like that. They're struggling, so for me, it is very important that we get to do all of this. I have always said like I want to grow and I want to keep this ambition and stuff, but I want to grow in a proper way, in a right way. I want to be out there for the people, holding who I am. I want to be out there with the people, not bullshitting them. I don't want to be in the camera, bullshitting people and stuff. Like it's just not who I am. It's not how I feel. I want to be there. I want to be honest with all of the good traits that I might have, with all of the bad traits. I think that is very important for humanity right now to hold on into to that, and being able to do like that. And for me, like my community has literally mean so much. It's a huge part of my life, and they have literally changed my life. So right now I'm doing absolutely everything that I can for changing their lives as well in a positive way. Just like can be something very small, but sometimes that might trigger you, encourage you, giving you like a different perspective, an idea, or of something. And I feel that is like so important. And once again, like my community, it's just like one of the most beautiful things that I have in my life. It's I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of how they grow as persons, and yeah, it's absolutely wonderful what we've gotten to do, honestly, with this community.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's just a beautiful note to end on as well. I think we've covered so much ground, everything that's going on in your world right now. And
Yes.
again, I just want to thank you so very, very much for taking all of this time to be able to talk to me about what's going on in your world right now, graciously sending me the album to be able to check it out, me getting being able to give you the first impressions of the world outside of you to be able to see what is going on there. I hope other people feel the same way that I do. I wouldn't bullshit you like this. Like I really do love everything about this
Oh
album
God.
from start to finish. The production, the songwriting, your vocal abilities. Like I think you just keep getting better in your vocal ability with every single release that you do, and this is some of the most top-notch stuff that you've done so far, and just everything else that's going to be coming up in the future as well. I mean, I'm glad that we got to talk about Lacrimas. I'm glad we got to talk about the
Yeah.
Sanctuary show that's coming up.
Yeah.
Everything that's going on in your world right now. I want to thank everyone that tuned in through your
Yeah.
Patreon to be able to check this out, and it's just been so awesome to be able to catch up with you again.
Man, means quite a lot to me. I'm very happy that we've gotten the time to have like a proper conversation, you know, like as you said, like we were talking about so many different topics and stuff. And as I told you, like never feel anxious or too nervous or too stressed about something, for example, like failing here or there and etc. You know, I think that you gotta feel like so proud of doing what you're doing, you know, and you just stick to that and keep on growing and keep on figuring yourself, you know, etc. And I love that we were able to catch up. Today is it's the 9th of April. Very for me it's gonna be a very special day because I'm gonna remember this day as the very first feedback that I got, you know, like from and also somebody who does what you do, which, you know, like you talk with many different artists, you know, you listen to many different music and stuff like. So it's very cool for me that you were able to listen to the record, process it, experiencing it, and that we got to have like this conversation. As I told you, all the people from my community right now that they're watching in the between in the little cut that we had, they were telling me that they really like the questions that you're putting, that you're very well spoken as well, which is something as well that I truly appreciate. So man, absolutely, absolutely fantastic. Very happy that you enjoyed the record. Thanks a lot for you for taking the time, for choosing to do it, and especially as well for talking, you know, in such an honest way as well. It
Yeah,
means a lot
this
to me.
this is the only way I know how to do it. Like I have nothing in front of me. Like this is just
Yeah,
like my real words. Like there's nothing on my screen except for you right now. Like
yeah, yeah.
everything that I'm saying, I mean it just straight from the heart. Any question I have, it is just because of what I'm hearing you say and I want to be able to follow
Mhm.
back on what you're saying. Like I
Mhm.
just that real authenticity is why I continue to do this. I love supporting good
Excellent.
people. I love supporting good music and the fact that in almost 14 years of doing this now, this is my 939th interview that I've done, and I've gotten to
Holy
talk to you
man.
twice about that through
Wow.
your endeavors. It's just incredible, and I'm glad to be able to get you on here again, and one more time coming up later this year when we get to talk about some Lacrimas as well.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We arrange that as well whenever that comes. Like we stay in touch. And yeah, we as well gonna talk about it, and it's gonna be very interesting to see like what is your perspective in between those, because you did this question about like how do I switch in between these, but then once that you get to listen to these two records, it's gonna be very interesting to talk about it. So man, congratulations. Very proud of you. Lovely that you took the time. The people is certainly gonna go check the material and check your channel, and then we see us around, man. Thank you so much. It was a
No,
lovely conversation.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you so much. I see I got less than a minute again. Zoom's just about to cut me off again. So, one more time, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Everyone on your Patreon, thank you so much for taking the time to be able to check all this out. And again, if you like what I do, make sure to go check out Heavy Debriefings on all the social media and everything like that. And I hope everyone, and including you, has a great rest of the night.
Absolutely,
All
man. Have a
right.
lovely
All right.
one.
You too. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye, bro.